This is the Golf Performance Group podcast. Again, I think this is episode 62. You've got your host, LeBron Palmer, and also
Ginormous Johnson.
Now you've been on planes, trains, and automobiles this last week. What's been going on? How's your health right now? How's your energy level this morning?
I felt like I was a little mentally unstable after leaving my house at 7 a.m. to go to Syracuse, New York. I guess a variety of issues with my flights, and they canceled and delayed and all this. So I just ended up getting a refund on that first flight or first trip we booked, and went with United and finally got in about midnight. So it was I went down a deep rabbit hole of conspiracies with North Korea, Russia. I was even watching YouTube videos in Russian.
So you became a geopolitical expert in this period of time where you had a 24-hour travel period.
Yeah, pretty much. I told them when I got there, if they had any questions like about the Ukraine-Russian war or anything, I could answer any questions.
Okay, so
and North Korea.
What territory is Ukraine and Russia really fighting over then? That's probably what's really important to the people right now.
So let me think, because a lot of my stuff wasn't just basic factual stuff like that, but are they fighting over that east or western part? I don't know what it's called.
The Donbass region.
Is that what it is?
Yes, that is actually what it's called.
Okay. Well, what I did realize, I got the whole history from Putin. I didn't know Tucker Carlson went over to Moscow and sat down with Vladimir Putin like a year ago. And Vladimir talked for 2 hours, and it was on the history going back to 800 something AD.
Of course.
And I was really intrigued by the history of their, they got a lot of history compared to our country.
Well, yeah, I mean, they've been around much longer.
So just on 1,000 more years or so.
Now the challenge though, and of course this isn't a political podcast, what happens is we're getting their version of history though.
Exactly. That's the hard thing, is how do you, just like when people go to YouTube Golf.
Correct.
They get these facts or tips on how to get better. How do you know what is right and what isn't?
That's true. There's always three things. There's the truth, there's the lies, and something in the middle.
Yeah, their side, my side, and in the middle is usually accurate.
Okay, so now who's not in the middle anymore?
United States?
No, Tiger Woods.
Oh.
His career
we're always in the middle.
Should have been over. You and I have been doing this podcast off and on for 4 years now.
Longer than that.
But at least off and on.
Yeah.
So, and I have said, like, all the time, he needs to hang it up because.
But the good thing he didn't, because he won the Masters in 2019?
After that is when he probably needs to start.
Everyone said he should have quit way before that, and he won the Tour Championship. And then he won the Masters. And the way he looked at, was it the PNC with Charlie?
Charlie, yep.
I mean, he looks like he could win again. It's the putting, the walking, and then his putting just isn't what it was.
Yeah.
Where he made everything he had to make back in the
early 2000s. Yeah. So here's my thing with just the body. So I'll just focus on that. I have some expertise there. The problem is once you start repairing and replacing ligaments, not just like the broken bones and what he's had from his other injuries, replacing and repairing ligaments more than one time, you're never going to be the same. It's never.
Yeah, well, that's what I think you've told me. My sister's told me. Numerous people have told me, because of my back issue. Once you cut into yourself, you're never the same. And so I've been, but think how many times he's cut into himself. I mean, 30, 40 times. And I actually, another video I watched was on the AI and how it's contributing to doctors and our health, whatever. But he just needs to stay around long enough to where they can find
to make him the $6 million man for real.
Yeah,
I don't think there is a fix. Okay, so I did a little quick research, and let me pull it up because I want to make sure that I got it accurate. On all of Tiger Woods' surgeries, okay?
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious to see how many. Because people don't realize, his left knees, I think he's had the most.
I've got a list of all of them right here, and this is crazy. So I'm glad that after he announced the Achilles that he just recently had that nobody knew, these are all the surgeries. So let's go back to the beginning. If we look at his first injury that he had, 2007, he ruptured his ACL.
Okay, that was his first one?
That was the first where we knew about it.
Yeah.
He could have had other things, but remember, and he won the British Open, or no, the U.S. Open on that ACL. Remember the?
I was there 2008.
Yeah.
I was there one of the rounds.
Okay, so that's that. Next one, knee surgery again. He had to have it scoped in 2008. That's the one you saw where he was at the U.S.
He had that broken leg.
Yeah, broken leg and arthroscopic knee surgery. 2008, 2009, the first Achilles tendon. Remember I said that he had jumped out of the helicopter or something doing Navy SEAL stuff?
Yeah, SEAL stuff, yeah.
Okay, so that's the first time he tore that Achilles tendon. 2010, neck injury. Okay, so he had to get something done with his neck. I don't know what happened.
Was that from the Elin thing?
No, this is 2010. The Elin was after that, right?
Elin was 2009.
Okay, so that could have been around this.
End of 2009.
Okay, so let's say that came from the car accident.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. 2016, left Achilles tendon again.
Jeez.
Yeah, you see
that's like my biggest fear. The Achilles, it's so tender.
There's nothing you can do after that. Okay, again, 2012, Achilles starts to act up, so he had it again. 2014, now we started getting the back. This is when you start getting the back. Back issues. He withdrew.
Wait, what year was the back? First one?
The first one was March 2nd, 2014.
Are you sure?
I'm looking at it right here. March 2nd, 2014. Woods withdrew from the final round of the Honda Classic, back issues. Now, he didn't have the first surgery, so he had back issues. Then it went to back spasm.
I'm pretty sure.
Then he had the first surgery, April 1,
This is why you got to use ChatGPT.
This is ESPN. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they're not.
Very ChatGPT.
Okay, I'm going to ask, how many back surgeries?
No, that wasn't. Those weren't surgeries yet. That was just issues. But the first surgery was April 1st, 2014.
Okay.
So he had. He was the only golfer we saw get microdiscectomy, which is typically done for people who are 70 plus.
Yeah.
So he was the first golfer we saw get that. So that was April 1, 2014.
That's crazy. 2014. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, and then again, 2015, second microdiscectomy.
Yeah.
Okay, 2015 again. Third microdiscectomy. So he's had 3 back surgeries in the span of 18 months.
Yeah, and then 2017, L5S1.
Yep. So he had another back surgery in the 17. 2019, he had to have another knee surgery. 2021, he had to have another back surgery. At this point, Tiger should have hung it up then. So after he won that 2019 Masters, he should have hung it up. He should have hung it up.
Well, he had most of his surgeries right before that.
That's what I'm saying. After that, it's all downhill because he had to have another back for 2021.
According to ChatGPT, he has I think it might be missing some, but 5 back surgeries, 5 knee surgeries.
That's what I'm telling you.
3 leg and ankle surgeries, and at least 11 other surgeries.
I am good friends with NFL Hall of Famers. None of them have had as many procedures as Tiger Woods.
I'm telling you, golf's the most physical sport.
I'm talking guys who ran their head into people every day.
Well, they're just going to be mentally unstable. I mean, Tiger is too, bro.
With all these surgeries? Come on, man. Let's be real. It's
so 11, 14, 19, 24 ChatGPT's listed.
Okay, so I see.
And you didn't talk about 2021 or 2019.
I hadn't even got there yet. And then think about the most recent ones that he just had. So he had the car accident that basically demolished.
Yeah, I said he had 3 from those, but I'm pretty sure he had more than that.
Because
it says at least 3.
It demolished his lower leg.
Yeah.
So he
needs to just amputate it.
He just needs to quit golf.
No.
Be a father. He needs to just be a father.
He can arm swing it and his ball speed's over 180. He's already proven it.
Listen, man.
He just needs to be able to get around the course.
I think we need to give Tiger back to his family. Like he just needs to go to be an ambassador of the game. Go walk.
I mean, he only played in his prime. He played 15 to 17 times a year.
Yeah, now, but then even at post prime, he was only playing 4 times a year, basically.
Yeah, so he has plenty of family time.
Nah, I'm talking about. No, he doesn't need to be doing this ramp up to get ready. He doesn't need to be trying to work out. Well, yeah, that's how he got hurt. So, I mean, really, think about that. 25 procedures. Have you ever had a surgery?
Yeah, I had a deviated septum.
No, I'm talking for your.
I mean, yeah, they cut into my nose somewhere.
I've had 4 surgeries.
Okay.
3 knee, 1 shoulder. None of these are the same. Like, I can't imagine him trying to train, get ready, taking time away from his kids. Tiger, it is not worth it. Like, give it up. You're a billionaire.
Dude, I mean, he's He's different, obviously.
Correct. Correct.
And on his wall, you know, since he was born, basically, was sacks, majors, and grew. You know, his mindset. He needs to get to 18.
But he's not.
But I think hey, I never gave up on him. And I'm still not, because I think
Look, I understand not giving up on him, but he's not getting to 18.
Phil won a PGA at like what 50, 51,
and his only problem is gambling.
Tiger needs to just chop off that leg, and then he needs to find a prosthetic that will allow him to walk without rubbing and getting rashes, because that'll hurt. But
listen to me, man. Like, okay, so I've seen Tiger in real time at the Players.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, I used to work at TPC Sawgrass. That was my first job out of college. I wish my game could translate to working there, but it doesn't work.
How'd you do on this one, right here?
We're going to talk about it. But I want to talk about seeing Tiger then. And it looked like he was bigger than God. Like it was like a deity walking around the course.
He's the biggest. I mean, in my lifetime, I've never seen any other athlete change their sport. Now there's MJ, but MJ didn't change the sport.
No, Tiger
changed it, the demographics,
everything,
how you train, everything.
I would not be doing this had it not been Tiger.
He would have 38 majors right now if he wouldn't have created his own worst enemy. Guys like DJ and
his own worst enemy is himself.
Well, yeah,
Tiger is doing stuff. First off, I'm not mad at him for this, because who doesn't love women? But the chasing women,
and how he grew up. He was Steve Urkel, and then all of a sudden, he was the most famous human in the world.
The hardcore intense training. Trust me, I get it. I hardcore intense train. That's a lot of why I got hurt. Yeah, I mean, we can tell. I mean, I Norman Johnson. That's that.
Yeah, that's what I do.
But then also, I think Tiger suffered from some maybe imposter syndrome. Maybe he never felt like the game was supposed to be his. Like he was always trying to.
Well, up until 2009, I thought he was like the perfect human.
Everyone, that's what I'm saying. Some imposter syndrome. He was trying to be something that he wasn't.
Well, I think it helped his putting a lot, because I mean, he was the perfect human and he couldn't miss a putt. Then he was humanized, and now he's just a regular tour player.
But you talk
not a regular one, because he still won a major after that.
You talk about golf being so mental, man. You're right. If you think about it, after he got exposed,
is when his putting went.
Everything went to hell.
Yeah, and when this was 2017, I was talking to Chris Como in the locker room.
Yeah,
and he wasn't allowed to say much about Tiger, but he said, at that time his body was back. He was hitting it perfectly fine, probably better than he'd ever hit it. He's like, but you got to think about the putting, and that's when I was like, you're right, because he was humanized, and he was perfect. It was easier for him than anyone I've ever seen. But to believe he's going to make it, because he did it every time he had to.
Yep. And I think, once he lost some of that belief, and then I also believe there's a mind-body connection. I talk about this a lot. Once you start feeling like it's weird, like things just start breaking down. I don't know what the science behind it is, but it's less than age though, because he's not that much older than us.
Yeah, he's what? He'll turn 50.
He'll turn 50.
Yeah.
I'm about to be 45.
Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
Tiger's not that much older. It's just he's breaking down in a weird way, man.
Because he's done so much to his body, and putting Band-Aids on things while he's trying to recover.
You're right.
Like while he's trying to recover, and then you see him getting arrested because he's got pills in his system, and it's crazy, because it's just spiraled.
It spirals. It does.
Like when he was younger, he could get away with it, and then now, it's all catching up with him.
And what's crazy is all these guys that you mentioned, they were like his prototype. Like, so they saw what Tiger did, and they all kind of matriculated the same way. Now, you had a few guys who kind of went off the rails for a little while. DJ, he went off the rails for a bit.
When he was suspended,
Anthony Kim was a pro. He went off the rails completely.
Yeah, he really went off the rails. He went off the rails more than.
But these were guys who were in his mode, just as athletic, and hell, even Brooks. Now he hadn't went off the rails, but he went a little bit strong with being buff and trying to get ready for things. I just think golfers live in a world where people don't respect them as athletes, even though they know they are. So they're always looking for some additional validation.
It wasn't until I started teaching golf I realized you have to be an athlete, a certain type of athlete, hand-eye coordination. It's a fine skill. But before that, when I was in high school or junior high, people saying golf wasn't a real sport, and I was like, I don't know.
It
Like,
is. It is.
but after I started teaching golf and learning about everything, there not just anybody can play golf. Everyone can probably get it to where they can hit it airborne and forward.
Correct.
But I mean, I can go out there and catch a pass in football too.
Correct.
So
I used to tell people like before,
but to be really good at, or say scratch golf or better, it's rare.
It's rare.
It's very rare.
And most people try to compare golf to like pool or darts. It's not that. Like it's not. Like you're using your full body.
Pool, it can relate to putting. I would say.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's not just a game. It's one of the most explosive, unnatural movements in sport, and that's why most guys are injured.
Yeah, and for me, I didn't feel like it was explosive until I saw Tiger Woods.
Yeah,
like because I used to see Fuzzy Zeller's fat ass, and look, I loved him, but I used to see
the Walrus. I love the Walrus.
It's when I was like, hey, there's a guy named the Walrus making millions of dollars.
Yeah, and that people would say, like, oh, John Daly's on that. It's like, screw you, dude. Can you hit a ball one-handed and make it
with a cig in your mouth?
McDonald's cup in the left hand, a cigarette hanging out of your mouth, and make it spin back. That's an athlete. That's hand-eye coordination.
That's a fact.
He's just not in it. We're just not endurance athletes. I mean,
if you're walking, you are.
Well, yeah, but like I can run a mile, but I can't run 5 miles. I did it in my prime.
Fair. No, I get it. But that's another thing that Tiger was doing. He was putting in 5 miles a day.
Well, he was putting in sprint. He was
sprinting. He was running, and I just think that
it's a classic. Just overdid it. But at that time, no one did it, so he didn't know what was overdone. Just work harder, right? So
yeah, but someone and so I feel bad. Like there's people like JJ is my accountability partner. He'll be like, "Hey, are you coming today? Are you doing this?" And I appreciate him for that because there's people who won't hold you accountable. There's no one in Tiger's
It's hard to hold people accountable.
No, it's not. Not when you have a real relationship.
Well, yeah, I know, but like my students, I'll ask them if they want me to hold them accountable, then I'll try, and then it doesn't hold them accountable, so I just, let it go.
So in that, what I'm saying is I don't think anyone in Tiger's camp, because the money is good, man. When the money is good and you've got access to the things that Tiger has access to, you don't want to tell him no.
Yeah.
You don't want to say that's a dumbass idea.
But can you tell him no?
Yes.
I mean, but is he going to listen?
He needs someone who can, hey, that's stupid. You're worth $100 million. We're not jumping out of a helicopter today.
100 million for like 3 billion.
That's what he was worth.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're not jumping out of a helicopter. You're more important, and your quest for 18 is more important than this Navy SEAL.
Yeah, I think he had 14 majors in 08 after he won that?
I thought Tiger would have won 30 majors.
Well, and same with Rory. I was listening on the way here. He was 25 when he had his 4th major.
Yeah.
Now we're sitting at 35.
And he's on his 5th.
Well, he hasn't had a 5th.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. He's kind of winning his 5th.
Yeah, who would have thought a decade would pass?
Yep. But Rory kind of went crazy, too, if you think about it. Remember?
He went soft. I feel like.
Remember he got hurt playing soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody really talked about that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was
when was that?
It was probably like 2010.
Okay, so that was before his first majors then?
Yeah, and he got hurt playing soccer. And remember he came back all ripped.
Remember, I was next to him in 2017 when he was all ripped, and dude, he had extra smalls on.
But he was ripped though.
He was skinny ripped, yeah. His legs.
He was pretty in shape.
Now he's like a grown. He was like he was a kid that works out and they get definition, but he probably weighed 150 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, no, I get you that. But what I'm gonna land on is that golfers, especially pros, you all are athletes. You don't need to validate yourself based on what other athletes in other sports do. Most football players, most basketball players, hell, even MLB players would love to be doing what you all do on a day-to-day basis. You do not have to get in the gym and do all that crazy stuff. Go find you a professional or someone who knows the body in a way that can support the golf swing. You don't have to be all muscle bound and all of that.
It's just the athleticism aspect. Like the kid, everyone specializes so young now.
They do.
And this started probably 15 years ago.
Okay.
I don't know, but all the best golfers I was around were the best athletes because
they did everything.
They did everything. And so, I think you don't need to get in the gym and hit the weights and do all the stuff Tiger's doing, but I think you just need to play other sports like soccer, basketball, even baseball, you learn the pivot. Like,
But baseball swing can hurt you a little though in golf.
it could.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why I said soccer and basketball first.
yeah,
But baseball's not as bad for you as people say it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
You know. So, and then if you could be a pitcher, that'd be even better.
Even better.
That's perfect.
Even better. That's
Yeah.
perfect right there. Because then you're turning into your body just like you would in a golf swing.
Boxing would be a good one.
Yeah.
Don't get hurt too much, but throwing a punch, throwing an uppercut,
Yeah.
and stuff like that,
Gotcha.
it translates to golf.
So quick story time with me about my time at TPC Sawgrass. So we used to do like for caddying and outside operations. We would clean clubs all day. It was like the worst job you could possibly have.
Yeah, I've had that.
Thankfully, I got into HR quickly after.
Yeah.
Like, but the funnest thing would be the cart boys and the head pros. We would go out to 17 and play money games.
Yeah.
Like, hey, everybody just put money in the pot. Whoever gets closest to the pin or putts out first would win. So at this time, I'm really terrible at golf. I'm so bad at golf. Man, I wish I remembered the guy's name. I want to say his name is David Gilberto, but I'm probably lying and I'm going to have to look it up. But they made me a set of clubs because at that time I was like 300 pounds. So I had all steel.
Speaking of which, when I played Derek Lewis, I'll have to tell you about it. Remind me.
I had all steel. So like my 9-iron, I mean, the thing had to be 5 pounds, not 5 grams. It had to be 5 pounds. Like it was the heaviest shit. It was like, no one should swing this club,
Yeah.
But one day I won the challenge. Okay. They're so mad at me that I won the challenge. We stay out there until probably like 11 o'clock at night, continuing to do the bet until they beat all the money back out of me. Because you know what golfers don't like? Losing to a non-golfer.
Yeah.
Why does that? Why do y'all care so much?
I don't know, but I remember when I was like in elementary school, and I'd play with the high school kids, and like we'd gamble, and that's what I try to get kids to do now because I was forced to be like a game-like mindset, all the time. But I remember there's this kid, he was like one of their better players, but at the time I was a little better than him. But we did this short game competition, and we were out there for like 2 hours. And I was up like hundreds of dollars, and like at that time because we kept double or nothing.
That's what we were doing out there.
And I finally he won a double or nothing, and then he won 2 in a row. And then he's like, I got to go, and I owed like $20, and I was like, I don't have $20, and so I remember I got grounded. I had to like ask my dad for it, and typically my dad just made me mow the lawn.
Of course, you got to earn it. You got to earn it. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. But I still remember that day. I was so pissed. I was like, I had like $300.
But why do golfers hate losing to the non-golfer?
I don't know, because I just got beat on this closest to the pin thing by a high school kid, and I was like, let's keep going. He beat me again, and I was like, all right, now I'm too tired to do this again. But I don't know. You want to have the last.
That's probably what it is.
It's like, I don't know.
So into that non-golfer point, there's the rise of influencer golfers. Okay. These are people who, I would say some of them have some decent golf swings.
Yeah, like Grant Horvat has a really good golf swing. So does George Bryan.
But are they players? See, that's
George Bryan. Yes, he was an All-American at South Carolina. Okay. But I, just watching his YouTube golf, because I had played with him back when he was going into University of South Carolina. He was a really laid-back guy, and didn't get mad after hitting a bad shot or whatever, but he didn't really seem to have that competitiveness.
Okay.
Like it seems like Wesley does in his videos. Yeah. But fundamentally or swing wise, I would take George over Wesley, but Wesley obviously has something inside, that's different. So
why do you think that the influencer golf world, because it's almost like the bro culture to me.
Yeah.
Like golf is the natural place for bro culture. Like you can almost locker room without the locker room.
Yeah.
Why do you think that started to happen?
I don't know, but whoever came up with it was pretty genius because those guys are killing it. Yeah, they're just traveling around, playing with their buddies on the nicest courses.
Yeah.
And
content.
Yeah. Now I got to apologize, to Grant Horvat. Not that he knows who I am, but he didn't play that Content Creator Classic at the Tour Championship. Yeah. And he said he didn't like tournament golf. And I was like, dude, you're a pussy. You got that beautiful golf swing. You're making millions on YouTube, and you're not going to come out and play 9 holes. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. Yeah,
that'd be exciting. I'd be looking forward to that. And he's too scared, but it looks like he came out and played in the one Wednesday, and he won.
Okay, so he's
George Bryan and Solly Saul or something in a playoff. Whoever Soul is.
So here's my question: what do we have to do to become influencer golfers? What do we need?
We need to take videos playing golf.
Fair.
And you got to have a good group of guys with the right dynamics, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, so
we got me, you, Tanner.
But I want to know why amateur golfers are so into these YouTube golfers, because they can relate more.
Yeah. It's because it's realistic. It's kind of like if you think about why a lot of basketball players gravitate to Steph Curry, because you can be Steph Curry, can't be LeBron.
Yeah.
You know, and then I can be these influencer golfers. I can't be Sahith Stagala. I can't. Like, that's not gonna work. Like,
no. So, and after watching him practice, I mean, I don't think many people can.
I mean, he's a maniac.
Yeah, he's great. If you look at his swing positions, you would wonder why Grant Horvet's not there, and he's not where Grant Horvet.
Exactly.
But that's why people just need to get away from technique sometimes
and just
learn how
play
to
the game. Yeah, just play the game. So I think what's happening to that is that you can relate to them. And again, bro culture wins the world, man. Like, I think personally,
what is the definition of bro culture?
Trump.
So
that's what won the election. Like, no rules. America is the best.
Golf of America.
Fuck anyone who's weak. Like, that's what it is, and that's what golf is to a lot of people. Yeah. Like, and now that it's less stuffy.
Yeah.
It's almost like a locker room now.
Yeah. No, it is. Because think about it. On every tee box, it's like a locker room. You're just standing around
talking shit.
And, and it's acceptable.
Yeah.
I mean, some people don't like it, but then you don't play with those people.
But most people, I mean, I can remember the first time I had a buddy bring a speaker on the course. And I was like, hey, man, we're about to get kicked off this. What are you doing? But then a year later, everyone had Bluetooth speakers.
Yeah, so it's funny, when I was playing Bluejack last week with Glenn Wilson, my buddy Chris, and Derek Lewis, Glenn he calls it his limo cart, and so it's one of those shuttle carts.
Oh, yeah.
But he had like 12-inch subwoofers in the back. I have a video of it because I was on 16. He finally, he'd had enough to drink and he was loosened up, and he puts on Derek's walkout song. I forget what the song's called, but he has that thing bumping, and he hit at 423.
Nice. And now, for reference, tell everybody he's the long drive.
So he's a world long drive. He never won the championship, but
he did.
So he set the record for 154 mile an hour swing speed, but he didn't win the finals. I don't know what round he.
See, I thought he was against, because I have a buddy named Niall Pruitt, who's he doesn't do it anymore, but he's since retired. But he was a long drive guy, and I could have sworn they were in the same competition at one point.
Well, yeah, he said so. He's made it to the semis.
Okay.
But yeah, in 2016 he held the swing speed record, world record, with 154. Now these guys are swinging 164.
Oh yeah, they're going crazy.
And he's still he's 42, and he doesn't really even train for it. But he's still exempt to the world finals this year.
Nice. Yeah, so how did your round go at Bluejack? Is it in good shape right now? How's it?
Unfortunately, so it's still kind of dormant. They're having some issue with like some sort of fungus on the grass. I don't even think they know what it is exactly. But I hadn't been out there since 2017, and dude, it is my favorite place now. It's like a big adult playground.
Okay.
I mean, they had 3 live bands going, one on the driving range, one on one tee and like 9 green.
Okay.
And then they had it out on a hole 12T, which is like their signature Augusta kind of hole. And I played really good, actually. I haven't gone low. We were talking about going low.
Yeah, we were talking about it. Yeah.
So, I birdied 8 out of the first 13. I had 1 bogey because I partially shanked a 5-iron. So this is a 200-yard hole into a breeze. Okay. And I'm trying to chip a 5-iron in there, and I have 42 yards coming back on my next shot. And Glenn's hitting Callaway blades. And after he hits a pin high, and I'm like, what'd you hit? And I was thinking 6 or 7 because it's a blade.
Yeah.
And he's like, 8. And I'm like, 8-iron?
Wow.
What the fuck?
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. And but he hits a big hook because that's, he tries to sling it in there, world long drive.
Even his 8-iron, he's swinging super hard and then got it.
Not really. I got videos of it.
Okay.
He's got a good golf swing, but he's so trained to hit this big hook. He was just hitting diving hooks all day. And then finally on 16, when he put on Derek's walkout song. He caught one. But and he had a regular length driver. He didn't have his 48-inch or whatever he hits.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a really cool guy. So I want to, maybe we could get, go to the next World Long
You
Drive.
should. I mean, look, they have him in WinStar.
Yeah.
So WinStar, JJ and I got some Oklahoma roots as well. WinStar is now crazy, the biggest casino in the world. Did you know that? Yeah, they've added like 2 additional things on the back of it, and then now they've got 36 holes out there at their course. So that's where
is their course good?
Well, the one I haven't played since 2016. So the one in 2016 kind of sucked.
Yeah,
but I'd imagine they put money into it since then.
Well, I'm gonna see when the World Long Drive.
Yeah, but they have it at WinStar because WinStar's got enough rooms and it's kind of like out in the middle of nowhere.
I'm surprised they. Yeah, I'm surprised because it gets so windy. Like, I'm surprised they do it in a place that gets so windy.
You got to remember, they've got it kind of set up like a stadium. So it's not that they're blocked from the wind, but it's kind of like a tunnel where they're hitting into. So it's not too bad.
But it's crazy. 163 miles an hour clubhead speed.
That's crazy. I'd tear my shoulder. Like, I couldn't imagine.
Dude, I couldn't imagine either.
Well, look, so give the people a tip as we close out today. We got the players. We're gearing up to the Masters. Give someone a tip, before we close out today that they should be working on for the golf swing.
Actually, so going back to that round of golf at Bluejack, so Derek, they announced your name on the first tee at Bluejack. And so Derek posted to his Instagram where he has like 3 million followers.
Yeah.
So then, we're on the back 9. I can't remember what hole, but I start hearing him say, like, they said I should, stand taller. And then he hits it. And I'm like, finally 3 holes later, I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? To Chris, he's looking at his Instagram comments on his first tee shot of the day. And so anyway, so then I'm like, all right, I'm going to film his swing. And what was interesting, because most people, get a cupped wrist like this, and it's a really weak position. Now, Derek's the knockout king, right? In the UFC, holds the record. And his wrist is just like DJ's at the top of his swing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'll have you overlay a video or a screenshot of it.
Put it in there, yeah.
And so we're like on 16 or something, or 15, I think. And I was like, man, you got a wrist like DJ. He's like, I thought I was a lot like DJ. Man, that's why I play so good. And going back to the golf clubs, so I'm looking in his bag. He's got these like Callaway Big Bertha iron heads.
Okay.
And they're all the same length. And they're like the length of a hybrid.
That sounds about right.
And but single length irons are so hard to put together. But then he has regular shafts in his hybrids and fairway woods. And then he's got a stiff shaft where he needs extra stiff. He swings it hard.
That's what I'm saying.
And yeah. So if you can, he's probably one of the most powerful men on the planet.
Yes.
And he's got that bowed left wrist for a right hander. So people should try to do that. You'll start probably hooking the ball. Which most people slice it. So you got to speed up your pivot or your body turn to straighten it out.
But if he can do it, anybody can.
Anyone can.
Yeah.
But the main tip would be match up wherever, like your club face at the top or your wrist angle with how fast you can turn. You want to pivot as fast as you can in balance.
Okay.
Where most people, swing easy. I hate it when people say swing easy. You got to be really easy and soft with the arms, but you got to pivot as fast as you can.
Nice.
And that's going to create more club face control, and you're going to get, your optimized distance if you can hit the center of the face.
Okay. So guys, think about that. Focus on your hitting in the center of the face, getting that body to turn, and
getting that club face to match how fast you can turn in balance.
In balance. So keep that in mind. And this is the Golf Performance Group podcast, episode 62. Tiger, you need to retire.
61 or 62?
One of the two.
We're out.